Hey there, welcome to Unimaginable Futures Class 3. I can't wait to dive into all of this today. Now, if you've gone through the introduction parts, then you would have chosen some energies that you would like your life to be. Choose that list of words, which could be up to about 5. There's a reason why we're kind of keeping it to 5. Put it everywhere where you can see it every day so that you can start calling those energies in. And it's really cool how all that shows up. Number 2, if you haven't gone to the intro little short videos that I've got on the member site, please go there because everything that you do afterwards is going to support you focusing on those energies and opening up those parts of your life where you start to make those things happen. So we've gone through 2 classes after that so far. One was where we talked about points of view. The other, last week, we talked about where do you contract. And so this was basically, I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of glare on the glasses here. This is basically just talking through all the areas where you might go into reaction mode over things. Today we're going to expand on that a little bit to the point of talking about just playing with your awareness and expanding your awareness muscle. Okay? I'm going to actually just take off my glasses so it's not distracting here. We've got a little bit of glare on there. But anyway, so let's talk about your awareness muscle. The reason why I asked you to put together a list of energies you would like your life to be is because you are a certain energy. What you would like your life to be can be a certain general energy. We start general because sometimes people don't know what they would like their life to be. And we're just playing with this to start out so that you can start to see that if you choose 5 words, up to 3 to 5 words for yourself that go into the energies you would like your life to be. If everything's energy, you can start aligning with them, or we'll start seeing where you're not aligning with them. Like things will start to show you things where you're not really congruent, lined up with what you're asking for, and that's why it hasn't shown up. And also, as we talked about in the first week with points of view, there's certain points of view that, sorry, I'm snapping at my dog here. She's coming to see what the class is all about. She's heard this a few bazillion times. But anyway, so if you're asking for something to show up and it hasn't shown up yet, like we talked about in week 1, you probably have a point of view about it, or you might have like a little sneaky thing going on where you're not really personally in that energy. And when I talk about this, I don't really mean the woo-woo, she foo-foo, new agey, oh, all you have to do is go out and align with the energies. There is some of that going on, but at the end of the day, it's to help you get clear of what your energy is. And so that's what we're going to go into a little bit more today. What your energy is and how you can start to create from a space of not only a purer state of you, because there's a lot of interference, especially, we talked a little bit about this last time, especially if you're around people, you've got kids, or you've got husband, or you got girlfriend or boyfriend, or you're going to a job every day in a building. I talked to somebody last week, and when I tapped into the building, because I'm an intuitive also, it's like when I tapped into the building, there were just a lot of energies interfering with stuff. So I know it sounds a little nutty, but that's what we're dealing with today as an energy being. There's a lot of energies out there in the world. And so that's why I want you to be very clear about what your energy is. So just ask, like, being, what is my energy? And just wait for an energetic answer. We're not looking for a word answer. kind of going to be kicking you out of your mind space for this class because creation doesn't necessarily really come from there. That kind of stuff can kind of send you sideways, and that's where I talk about interference and that you can be sent sideways um, from really truly receiving those things that you want. And then you can say body. So we're being in a body, and there's lots of levels to that. But body, what is my energy? And I don't know, some people will feel that, some people won't. But you're basically like opening up the elemental energies of, oh, what's my energy? So that you have more awareness of what your energy is. So that you're not getting pulled in everybody else's stuff or focus or whatever. If you find yourself kind of running around and going, I don't know that I even really wanted to go to dental school, something like that. And it's like, oh, that's my neighbor, and then you end up talking to your neighbor and they're like, oh yeah, my son's getting ready to go to dental school. Well, we pick up a lot of stuff. So that this whole thing about being aware and really expanding your awareness muscle, and as we go through these 12 weeks, this whole 12 weeks, you're going to be in a more expanded, you'll have a more developed awareness muscle so that you're not getting pulled into, Bobby next door's dental school things, or you're not getting pulled into when you go out with friends, oh, I don't know if this guy will like me. And you're like, I'm already married. What's that all about? So it's just a matter of making sure what your energy is and what the energy around you is. And just making that distinction. And it's just a matter of just playing with it as much as you can. On your play sheet this week, we'll have something that you'll play with that a little bit. So let's look at that here. I'm going to go into and really getting used to what your own awareness is going to be an amazing thing to keep you centered in your power. Like we talked a little bit about last week, when you're in reaction, you're not in your power. When you're in reaction, you're probably being messed with a bunch of energies. And that's not to also put you in like, oh, I'm being messed with, whatever. There's just a lot of energies out in the world, and when we know that, we can know how to kind of corral them and caress them and really get back to our own energy so that we're clear on the energies we would like our life to be. And if anything else is showing up, we just oust it out energetically. It can be as easy as that. A lot of this stuff are just simple tweaks to all the crazy things we've been taught in this reality of how you create, how you generate, how you go out there in the world. And notice that, like, when you listen to a song or you see maybe a celebrity or somebody on TV or whatever out in the world, if you see them interviewed personally, you kind of, before they even open their mouth, you get an energy of them. I had a group of ladies that were in here, I guess, about 2 weeks ago, and their energy was just weird. And I kind of stopped them and told them that my neighborhood was a non-solicitation neighborhood because I had seen them driving up and down the streets around here. And because my office is kind of in the front of my house here, I am able to see those types of things and pick up things that, like, there's something off with the energy here. That happened to me a couple years ago, where I saw this lady and she looked like she was just walking. But it was hot outside. I think it was like June or July, and she had one of those kind of wintry, velour black type walking suits on. And she had a hat and her head was way down. And when I drove by her on the way out, I thought, yeah, there's something about that that doesn't seem right. And then I kind of corrected myself at the time and I went, oh, that could be somebody because she had gray hair. That could be somebody's grandmother. That could be somebody related to somebody in here. And, normally I would probably stop them and ask them for directions to kind of get an idea is, do they belong in this neighborhood or are they supposed to be here? But I didn't do it. And I kind of doubted myself and made myself a little wrong for, even having the thought of like, because I'm very energetically astute and I picked up on a very weird energy. Like, how energy astute are you? And the more that you work with this, the more clear you'll be on that and you won't second guess that. But anyway, long story short, probably about 10 or 15 people got their cars broken into that day. Was I a little bit aware about that or not? And the similar stories about seeing this person. And so it's kind of like when you get a feeling about something, there's a reason why they call it gut reaction, and it is your awareness. We came in with that. We're born with that. And it's kind of eked out. Like our parents do the best they can, right, within this reality and all the crazy rules that they learned as they went along. But the thing about it is, life isn't energy. And I'm not trying to be woo-woo about it. It's actually true. It's scientific fact. Life is energy. As Einstein said, everything's energy. So if everything's energy, do you think it's a simpler way to create out in the world if you're following the energies that you would like your life to be? And that if you sense yourself getting distracted, or if you sense yourself kind of, oh, I should do this, this, and this today, we're still going to be having things to do in this class, but we're going to kind of get away from the to-do list. It's more of a to-be list. And when you go by the to-be list, things just will fall into place. You'll know that you're lining up when there's just an ease to it that really, it just flows. If it's not flowing, then look at that. Use that awareness muscle and go, something's a little off here. Like, what would my life be like if I did this today? What would my life be in 10 years if I did this today? What would my life be in 10 years if I didn't do it right now? Does this need to be my top priority today, or will this come in another day? Now, those of us who are used to, and believe me, I've had many years of getting used to the to-do list that I had. I mean, I would have a to-do list that I would never get done. And I would always feel like I was falling short. Have you been in that space when you have a to-do list and you're kind of beating yourself up and not doing it? Well, I had that about, I think last week, where I had a project that I was actually writing and designing, because I still do some of that work. And because I really just enjoy it. It really is enjoyable to me. That's one of my words. It is creative, which is one of my words. And I was kind of like going, wow, I'm not really getting this done. But it wasn't I used to procrastinate. So this might have shown up in your world too. When you have immense abilities and you're really good at stuff, you will procrastinate sometimes if you don't have enough things going on. So, truth, how many things do you need to have going on, or not necessarily need, but how many things does your body and your being really need to have going on in a day? It keeps you going, it keeps you excited. Is it 5? Less than 5? More than 5? More than 10? Less than 10? More than 20? I usually kind of get around 20. And you'll kind of feel like, how many things is it good for me to have going on, all at once, that keeps me moving forward and keeps me going. See what that number is for you. And if you need any assistance with eking that out for yourself, just reach out and we can tap in for you. But you'll get a certain sense, so you'll kind of get a number in your head. I'm like, oh, I really need 22 things going on for me and I used to have at least 22 things going on. Now I can go with a little less, because I've tweaked some of those energy things and those points of views about what I needed to do in a day in order to be a productive member of society. So anything that has been projected or expected on us, or any points of view we might have um, in our life about uh, being a productive member of society, being a productive member of the workforce, that we've got to work 9 to 5 or 5 to 9, or make sure that we're seen at the office or work in an office, or um, call so many people in a day, et cetera, et cetera. Like anything that is, are you willing to just let that go now? And we'll just incinerate that. Incinerate, incinerate, incinerate. When I say incinerate, I'm just basically like blowing out the energies that aren't working here. Because when I brought that up, it's like all these points of view that we've always been taught that we need to always, I wasn't a worker bee family. I don't know how many jobs I had as a kid between babysitting and selling stuff. And we had a garden, so I would sell like tomatoes and stuff. And, then I would do other things, and I did painting, and I did all kinds of stuff as a kid. And I would just have these stacks and stacks of money on my desk. And the money actually kind of like didn't really mean anything. It was kind of fun to just see it stacked up. And I would hold on to stuff, and I would just kind of like look at it like, wow, well, look what I created with that. But in this reality, in this time period, when people could make $1 million in a minute, they could make -$1 million in a minute. They could make zero in a minute. It's like we live in a time where all the lines have been thrown away of what we could create and generate within a period of time. So any preconceived notion about how much money per hour, we're so tied to like how much money per hour, how much is your time worth, that you got to work 8 hours in a day. So what all that energy is, let's just throw it all into an energetic pile in front of them, all the way around us, from inside, outside, from up above and down below. Let's just throw it out, and I'm just going to energetically incinerate it now. So we threw out all our preconceived notions about what work had to be, but it actually kind of be more like play. Because playful and play is really one of my words. What if you could play your way to income? And when you talk to people who actually, they put their creative stuff out there, and it kind of catapults them to a certain level where they just feel like, wow, they're making good money and they just feel blessed. I was watching an interview with Tyler Perry the other day. He's from Atlanta, which is where I am in the USA. And he was talking about, he now owns this movie studio that you can go get off and exit on a freeway here after you go through town. And it's kind of like the right side was where he grew up in extreme poverty. He had been homeless. He had had like almost less than zero money, way less than zero money. And then he was doing these shows here, like a one-man show he would put together. And he had like things that would kick him back and kick him back. And he just kept going and going and going. And now he's like, the other side of this exit is like, hey, you're going to Pinewood Studios. Yeah, he took over basically, I think it's Army barracks or airport barracks, like old um, office space or whatever, that he just took over and built for his studios. So his is Pinewood, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, but he was saying that he, like, you can tell that it's really, and for most people, for most of us, it's really not about the money. It's about the energies we would like our life to be. And he said that he has been so grateful, and he likes to see that as that exit, because it's kind of like, and he's got his name on the other side of the exit where it says Tyler Perry's whatever studios. And it's like, wow, what an interesting look at how he's become congruent and lines up, and everything just goes, 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 goes. And then we kind of get to a certain point and we're ready to go to another level, and we can lean into that and get past any energies that might be stopping us. And so, like fear, blame, shame, regret, guilt, all those things that really necessarily aren't true. And we can let the smallest thing stop us. And that's where, like, is fear one of your natural energies? No. Is doubt one of your natural energies? You want to own doubt? No. Do you want to own blame, shame, regret, guilt? Like, are any of those your natural energies? Any of those? So why would you want to take them out to play and take them on and engage with them daily and let them stop you? Because there is nothing more powerful than you and the energies you would like your life to be. You might be hearing my dog in the back. And again, like, look at the life of a dog. Do they really care? Like, do they have blame, shame, regret, guilt? They might think, oh, I did something wrong, because they're getting yelled at for a moment. But then they just kind of go back to, like, I have a dog who's part lab, and he's just like, doo, 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 doo. He knows what his energies are, and he knows that, what time to eat every day and all those things. And it's just that being in the moment and being in the joy. And that's where, when you can be clear on the energies that you would like your life to be, and what are your energies versus everybody else's energies and the outward world energies and energies that could be projected on you. And that's when you just, like, incinerate that, or just say out. I like to wave my hands because I can be dramatic about it, and it kind of, I do like a healing with my hands, and it can clear energies for people and for me, and clear spaces. So for this time, for your so you can be rolling along with your day, and in the place of the energies you would like your life to be. And it might be, one or two of the energies aren't where you really have been playing for a while. That's where getting clear about your energies and the energies you would like your life to be, like, start to play in that energy. I've had millionaire on my list for a while. Have I been a millionaire yet? No. Have I been close? Yes. Will I get there? Yes. Because that's the energy I would like my life to be, not from the place of the dollars, which are also good because they give you the capacity to have those other energies. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, money is a nice thing to have. Like Tyler Perry talks about, like, now he's able to, I remember at Christmas time, he went and he paid off people's layaway. I don't know how many, like, Walmarts and other stores around here in Atlanta at Christmas time, because he could, and it made him happy. And he remembered a time when he was there struggling. And so he was able to use his money for good, because he's got gratitude for where he is, and he knows the energies he would like his life to be, and he's grateful. And he likes to pass it along, like share that along. People do that experiment when they go to the grocery store. They'll buy somebody behind them's groceries. How cool would that be? You had unlimited money. You know, there's a part of money that's been really bastardized. So let's just talk about that because there's a reason why it's coming up. There's a part of money that has been bastardized as one of like this power, this, you know, and what if the greatest power is you? And when you're very clear about the energies that you are, like the sky's the limit with all that stuff. So anywhere that you have any points of view that stop you from unlimited money, would you like to destroy and uncreate all that now? Revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, destroy and uncreate, make null and void. Body, let it go, let it go, let it go. Not you, not yours. When you say body, let it go, not you, not yours, because sometimes those things, those little energies that aren't ours can get stuck in our body. And if you find yourself kind of like going down a rabbit hole and you're just keep on and keep on a whole idealist thing, like stop yourself and just say, hey, any energies that aren't mine here and that aren't a contribution to me, out. Because going down that rabbit hole and going into the monkey mind is not going to get you anywhere. I promise. I promise. So, do you get the energy of millionaire? Just receive the energy of millionaire. Let's just do a receiving. And I like to just kind of get a little bit of rash in my finger. I just like to put my hand on my heart and just receive. Millionaire. You'll kind of sense maybe some things popping up in your body that might show you that there's energies there that are kind of slick. It's like, wow, okay, whatever that is, it's not allowing me to receive. Millionaire. Out. Out. As we go along in this 12 weeks, again, we'll get more adept at really being quicker about seeing those energies or sensing those energies that just aren't us. And so that's where also, if you use that expansion exercise that we've shared here too, you know, where you're expanding out to the authentic symbiotic planet as it actually is, and then going further out, out. If you were up in a plane, you would have a wider view of everything, correct? Yeah. So would having a wider, like expanding out to the wider view of things be a contribution to knowing what energies aren't a contribution to you? Yeah. So what I would do too this week is like, I've asked you to put the list where you can see it every day, like whether it's on your computer screen or on your cell phone or just even on a physical piece of paper, you've written it down. Um, Make that a daily practice. Because I don't care what you do, even if you just do this, it can change your life. It can change your life. And I've had several people tell me, oh my gosh, this class changed my life. Because what do we focus on every day? We focus on, I don't have enough, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough friends, I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that. And this is where I love that Marie Kondo, The Art of Tidying Up. If you haven't read that book, you might want to check it out. Because she has a thing where she does kind of go through everything in your house. If you're looking at, is it a contribution? Is it not a contribution? So we're going to be kind of doing that just with things in our life. That doesn't mean that we have to toss anything out. It's just that we can be aware of how much time we would want to spend with somebody, how much time we would want to spend in a group, how much time we would want to spend on different activities in our job, how much time we would want to spend, even in angst and fear and all those other things that aren't productive to have and don't line up with the energies we would like our life to be. Why would you spend time there? Because we've been taught that. In this reality, that's where everybody spends their time. How many people do you talk to in a day that don't have enough time, or don't, they're rushing around and they're trying to, oh, let's get together. Nobody's connecting anymore. Nobody is connecting anymore. Like personally, they're just not. How many people ever sit down and actually listen to you? It's a dying art. I would like to bring it back. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm here. And believe me, I've had my days where I'm wondering, but this is like, it's craziness. And it's all this stuff that this reality has told us that this is living. And you've got, what is it, 8 or 9 billion people in the world? And what percentage of those people are actually truly living? How many? When you can, and I had a client the other day say, like, wow, when I remember to stay in that energy of the child, the curiosity, and I play with my energies, like, it really comes to meet me. It shows up in so many fun and inventive, really magical ways. And I'm playful with it. That's one of my words. Like, I'm playful with it. Where could you be playful with your energies? We don't have to have this be this like serious thing. It's not life. Yes, we probably have walked through some serious stuff. And you might be turning on the news every night and saying, oh, wow, this and that is going on. And isn't that, it was the lady that was walking around and driving around was saying, oh, life is so rough. And I said, no, it's actually pretty darn fun. What do you focus on? What are you focusing on that's showing up in your life? Chaos or play? And where could you play a little bit more today? Play with those energies that you would like your life to be. Play with what would actually be a contribution to you rather than your to-do list. Have your to-be list. What would my life be like in a year if I chose this? Is it going to be a contribution to what I'm doing? So I started with the story of I was working on a creative project and nothing was really gelling. And it was kind of coming close to the time that I needed to have it done. And all of a sudden, like, I let go of the fact that I hadn't done it, making myself wrong that it hadn't been done yet. And I just trusted in the universe because I was focusing on my energies. It would all come, and how could this show up? And I think I even asked, like, how could this show up with the greatest of ease and joy and fun? And you know what? That's what happened. A few days before, I got like, it'll take you this long to do this, it'll take you this long to do this, go, and it was like I was in the moment with it. And it got done probably in like a third of the time that it would normally take me. I was very much on time with it. I got it to the folks. I was able to get them even a second version of it on time. They were happy with everything. I had a creativity about it that was like just playing, just pure play, like I wasn't as a kid, like, and I do now. Like I was playing with it. Because I was playing with it, there was just an ease to it. And I wasn't, when I got out of my own way of making myself wrong about, oh, I didn't get it started last week or should have worked on it over the weekend, blah, blah, blah. Like I don't really look at, because I've been an entrepreneur for probably about 30 years, I don't really look at like a day as a weekday or a weekend day. Like it's whatever comes. And I don't feel like I have to work 24/7 like I used to. I mean, I used to work and work and work and work. And when I worked a corporate job in a office, I would work, I would go eat dinner, I would go back and work some more. And what's the energy of that? I gotta. Like, I must. It's that rushing around. It's almost like I'm not enough. So I've got to fill my life with all this extraneous energies that aren't even mine and buy everybody everything that everybody else is telling me is true. So let me just be in reaction mode for the rest of my life. And how much fun could you have with that? So, where are you on that scale? Are you choosing for you? Are you following the energy? Are you starting to play a little bit in this class? Or are you going, oh, it's an hour. I don't know if I'll have time to listen to that video because it's a whole hour. It's an hour that can change your life. And I'm not saying that as the airy fairy person, because I had a physical business for many, many years, and I've dabbled in all of the other side of things. I've dabbled in energy, I've dabbled in this, and this is where I say you could be the slightest energy change away from anything. Anything. And when you can get your points of view out of the way and know the energies that are you and what you're actually looking for, you won't be so outside of yourself picking up on everybody else's energies of what you should actually want. Right? You could actually come from the energy of you, pull in more of you. How cool would that be? You might not even know who that person is yet. And that's kind of exciting too. Like, I'm still going through the process of eking that out. But what I do know is, like, daily, I am just, most of the time, I'm just happy and I'm playful and I'm dabbling in the millionaire energies, and I'm just creating, and I'm creating things, and because I'm asking, everything is playing with you in this energetic world, and everything can talk to you. Like Marie Kondo. So I started talking about Marie Kondo's book. Like, she'll go through and she'll bless things that have served her, and she's not really, it doesn't serve her anymore, and she's a little over the top on the organization part of things from my point of view. That's just my point of view. But I love her idea of, like, blessing everything in your house and thanking it and seeing if you still need to hold on to it as a contribution, like, or does it need to go live somewhere else? So that's simply what we're doing with these energies in our life. Like, do I really need to dabble in fear anymore today? Or can I just go to joy? Can I go to play? Can I go to any and all of that? And it can come down to, we can talk about that a little bit more in another class, but it can come down to, like, I physically have started to go through everything in my house and say, hey, you want to stay? You want to go? Are you a contribution or are you not a contribution? Bless you for the time that I've spent with you, and see you later. I just got rid of I had a house full of paintings and other things, and I've been changing things out. And stuff kind of, I mean, it sounds crazy, but true. Like, everything has energy. That energy speaks to you. If you're listening, you can ask anything. And so ask everything. You can't ask enough questions of things, yourself and other people. People have kind of forgotten that art of asking questions, actually. I have a little game that I play. I can't remember that. I think I can't say it right now, but where it was like just a little flip thing of questions. If I went out in the world and I just wanted fun questions to ask people, I do that a lot. I'll just go out in public and just start talking to people and asking them questions. If I'm, I used to have this big phobia going out by myself, and then, I would start overthinking things and I'd get really shy. And I know that's kind of hard to believe, but how many questions can you ask of where you live, your things, your clothes, your body? My body really wanted to wear purple today, so that's what I'm doing. Purple was the thing today. Tomorrow it might be pink, who knows? But you almost feel like a sensation in your body when you're having a conversation with it. Because if you were living a life with something and you never had a conversation or never asked it a question, would it want to stick around? Would it want to stick around? Like if nobody was paying attention to me, I wouldn't want to stick around. So think about that. Engage everything around you. Ask a million questions. There's never too many questions to ask. And that's been kind of eked out of us, because I think when we were like 2 or 3, when we were asking, well, why and what's this and boy, and our parents were like, oh, just enough. It's not enough. It's okay. Ask questions. Ask questions of everything around you, of everybody around you, of yourself, of your being and your body. And you'll be surprised, in expanding this part of your awareness muscle, what could show up. Because we've been taught that we should focus on the money or the time or the title or the power or getting to here or getting to there. And is there ever a getting to somewhere? What if we just focus on right here, right now? And get the energy of that. And then me, right here, right now. It feels kind of expansive, doesn't it? And then what I like to do is use that expansion exercise that you have. It's on the site and it's also on the sheets. Is I like to choose to expand out every morning, and if I sense that there's an energy that's not expanding out, then I oust it, because it's not me. Because I'm an infinite being that can expand outward. So just if you focus on your energies daily and looked at did that daily, just even doing that plus asking questions. And if you're getting overwhelmed with this, buckle up, because there's a simplicity to this that you might be overcomplicating. And if you're in that space and need some help with getting out of that space, just reach out. Because I don't, there's parts of this class that we'll get to that you might send you into and those are all the energies that are not you. You're not a energy. You're actually like a energy. All that stuff is because you're becoming aware of the energies that aren't a contribution to you. Oust them out. That's all you have to do. Oust them out. Become aware of them and oust them out. And walk on. And you might have another energy that tries to attach itself to you, and oust it out. And then the more and more aware you get as you go along in this process, you won't even have to do that anymore, because you'll be showing up as a like, you know what, you enter my space? I don't think so. And how much fun could you have with that? And how much fun could you ask with asking however many questions? What could I do today that could change my life right away? And am I actually having a life? A lot of people aren't. They're doing what everybody else has told them is a life, and they're like, I don't think so. I do not think so. So, how many questions could you ask today? Are there things that you're holding on to that you could let go? Sometimes that's just things. Sometimes it could show up in the form of clutter. Sometimes it could show up in the form of hanging out with people that just are joyful to your being and your body. I mean, I had to say goodbye to some people because it just like they wanted to talk about, that's all they wanted to do is talk about other people. And I want to have an interesting conversation. I want to talk about life. I want to talk about possibilities. I want to talk about travel. I want to talk about the world. I want to talk about all the blah, blah, negative BS that's going on. Yes, are there things going on in the world? Sure. But if whatever we focus on expands and we'd like to be in the energies of what our life we would like our life to be, then is negative on the list. No, and that's not me being a Pollyanna and acting like that doesn't exist. Or really, doesn't it? Does it not exist? Or does it exist? With the energy of that. So truth, does negative exist? Does it not exist? Truth, does negative not exist? Yeah, I get more on it doesn't exist, that we kind of, it's what we define it as. Now, there's extreme levels of that that we don't have to go into here, somebody losing their life unexpectedly or whatever, but does that have to be a negative, or is it that they're just moving on to whatever's next? And that's not me being insensitive. My father died a couple years ago. I know the walk that you can walk through with that because they're not physically in body here on this planet anymore. You might miss that, but I always kind of celebrate now. It's like, ooh, whatever they're moving on to whatever's next, which is actually kind of exciting. It's going to happen to us all. We're not getting out of here with that. So, anyway, um, so let's think about that and let's ask some questions here. Here we go. Let's go with, and again, I've got the expansion exercise on this week's play sheet. And so, and then there's a little clearing statement that I put together. It's actually via Jaden Fox. I learned it from him, and it can clear energies really, really wonderfully. And it's any unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, manipulation, booby traps, warning keys, commands, agreements, third-year agreements, allegiances, alliances, stack stringers, or any other non-contributive energies up here. Just clear. Now you might need your sheet for that because that's a bunch of words, and I won't go into all that means. Let's just say it untangles those energies that might be stopping you with all this. So, universe, easily show me what I truly desire. And just receive for at least 10 seconds. Get the energies of that. Easily show me what I truly desire. Authentic universe. And body, what do you desire today? Like I asked body what my body desired today. It wanted to go to do Pilates, and it wanted to paint and wanted to wear this sweater. And then I'm gonna to also dabble and play tonight. Being, what do you desire today? And just receive. And like we talked a little bit last time, are you willing to receive good? Are you really, truly willing to receive what you're asking for? You might be a little fearful. Wow, I've never actually totally received what I've asked for. I'm just so used to pushing against. Like, this is a whole new reframe with that. There's nothing you have to push against. And usually when you're pushing against the person that you're now pushing against and the energies that we're in is you. So how much are you going to create if you're you're continually pushing against you? Or you feel like you've got to push against somebody else in order to, well, if, my boss, Bob, would just blah, 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 or my husband would just, whenever you're going outside of yourself with all of that, if this person over here would just, no, don't have to do anything. And chances are they probably won't do anything different. Although you could show them that you're making different choices, and it could pull them in to make different choices. But there's no amount of anybody else doing something that's going to create change in your world. You have to choose it. You have to ask for it. You have to lean into it. You have to be the one with the to-be list, right? And know what's next to do. And it's not about the airy-fairy of, okay, I choose it. I'm going to go sit in this room now and, oh, okay, The universe will guide you. The authentic universe will guide you at what's next. What should you choose? Does this little love thing for me need to stay here? I don't know. It might need to go tomorrow. Who knows? I'm asking just about everything questions daily. So are you ready to get out of the unconsciousness that is this reality and create your own reality where you just answer to yourself? It's not that I'm telling you to go break any laws or whatever. It's just you have that magical capacity. Why would you not use it? That's not making you wrong for that. That's just giving you awareness on it. Where can you use your magical capacities today? And there's a thing where we go to our brain. And so I like to ask the question, if I wasn't trying to figure it out, what awareness would I have here? And just receive. I kind of had to do that with that project. If I wasn't trying to figure out how to do all this out, and that's where it just kind of I let those energies unravel, and I went and just kind of had fun and joy and playfulness, in my words. And what do you know? It just showed up in a really cool way. And the way that it came about was just easeful. And then what could I receive today that is beyond anything I've been willing to receive in the past? And receive. You might have been asking, or you might have been focusing, or you might have been pushing against thinking that would create for you. But are you really, truly willing to receive what you're asking for? And wherever I've been conditioned across all lifetimes, past, present, future, or any other time frames not mentioned here, to only receive trauma, drama, and heavy, I incinerate that now. I like just thinking I have an energetic blowtorch. So if that helps you, or you can just clear, or whatever that is for you, just oust it out. You are in charge of your being and your body. Oust those energies that aren't you out. You wouldn't let somebody in your home that you didn't know that was being dirty and smoking and, putting their butts out on your floor and all that. You wouldn't let that happen in your house. Why do you let it in your being in your body and your peripheral? Don't put up with stuff you don't need to and that don't align with your energies. And then get a vision of your life without any limits whatsoever. And play in the energy of that vision for at least 20 seconds or more. And keep expanding the vision and the energies out to more, more, and more. And if you want to get somebody to play with you on this, then you can get a partner to help you with your vision and talk about it as if it were already here. Or you could just do that for yourself. And then take the energy of it that you have been playing in and pull it in and through your body, into your body, and just receive it. And then moving forward in your vision, do you need to clear something? Ask a question, take action, or anything to have it come to fruition. Ask how it could come to fruition. And then do what is required and have fun with it. And I'd love to see what kind of shows up in that span for you. And then ask 1,000 questions a day. Ask as many questions. And if you find yourself stopping yourself, just ask more. Push yourself to ask. Firm up that ask. Are you willing to ask for what you want? Are you willing to ask for what you want? For some people, they can play, are you in fantasy about it? They play in the fantasy of it, but they never really ask questions to open up the energy of possibility and see what the next step is to kind of get it to come to fruition. We could stay out in that airy fairiness of, oh, I wish I could win the lottery, or maybe, Aunt Jemima would pass away and I would, automatically get $1 million from somewhere I'm not expecting. Or, and those things can happen. Those things can happen when you're coming from your own power, when you're playing in the energies of it, and we're not in the fantasy of it. Like, oh, I'll just, I'll sign up for this. I've had people sign up for this class and not do a darn thing. And I've had people sign up for this class and watch every class, engage in every class, do the Q&As, go through the sheets, email me or call me with questions. And those are the people that have told me this class changed my life. It changed the way I view things. It changed the way I do things. It changed the way that the people that I hang around with. I realized, I had somebody say, I realized I wasn't really hanging out with the crowd that I am or that I want to be. And that's not judging. Everybody's at a different place. But if you're going to engage the energies you would like your life to be, you want to go kind of hang in that space. And that might be different and a little bit uncomfortable from where you've been. And that's actually kind of when you know you're onto something. Believe me, I've had people tell me that, in this class and in coaching that I've pissed them off. And I was like, yay, then we're getting somewhere. Then we're able to see those energies that are holding them back. Because those could be sneaky. You don't always know. Like if you're still trying to create and play with all this stuff and stuff is not showing up, do reach out. Because those things can be sneaky. And we'll talk about that further in the class as well. But don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything, anyone stop you, including you. Because you're the one who's usually probably getting in the way. No. What are the energies that you would like your life to be? And let's create that. You'll be surprised what could show up in the form of people and opportunities, and just when you start looking at all this stuff so differently that we're just a pawn in this reality, we got to follow the rules of what everybody else tells us we got to do. Now, we're magical infinite beings. I don't say that lightly. You're magical infinite beings. and you can choose, and you can play with, and you can create your life however you want it to be. And then keep expanding that. Like once you start playing in those energies, expand out. A lot of times these words aren't set in stone. They might shift as we go along, but pretty much for this class, they'll probably stay around those 5 words. Play in those energies and play. Play daily, ask lots of questions daily, and choose. And choose some more, and choose some more, and choose some more. I'm here to tell you, you have a choice. You have many choices. Not just going through the drive-through at McDonald's. You got a number 1, number 5, number whatever. there's a bazillion choices. So what could you choose today? And what could you create? I can't wait to see. So anyway, thanks for joining me today in this lesson 3 for unimaginable futures. If you have any questions, reach out. And I wish you an amazing week. Look for the handout and make sure to go through it and play with it and ask as many questions and talk to as many things and people as you can over the next week. And I'll look forward to playing with you next week. See ya.